So, the Russians.
You're listening to CreepGeeks Podcast. So it begins again. Welcome back to CreepGeeks Podcast. I'm Greg.
I'm Omi.
This is season 10, episode 358.
Nick Pope, Ed Dames, Ghost Murmur, Second Sphinx, Losing Gravity, Missing NASA Scientists, and TP Fire.
Yeah, got a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of stuff's going on, evidently.
Yep.
And so we're fresh off our spring break that we took because sometimes life gets super busy.
Yes.
And then, you have to keep keep chugging along, just like the Artemis 2 mission. Just keep on going, even if people are like, it's fake.
Oh, God.
It's all fake, guys. Where's the glass domes on the far side of the moon? Like Richard Hoagland said. I don't see them. It's just like, man, all right.
All right. Okay, buddy.
I've been seeing a lot of comments that, I want to jump in there and basically say, let me explain to you why you're not smart in your comment. Like one of them was this dude, right, pointing to a picture of the Earth from a picture taken from the Artemis 2 mission with like an iPhone or something like that because they're allowed to bring phones. People are like, why are they bringing phones? It's like there's been like 1,700 cell phones brought or something crazy like that. So it's not the first time this has been done.
Oh.
Yeah. Or maybe that's watches. Anyway, it's like he can't see the satellites, so it's obviously fake. And I'm like, if you take a picture outside, it's like you can't see bugs from a distance. Like, where's all the insects? There's 4 billion, 7 billion people on the planet. Where's all the people? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like distance makes a huge difference. The further back you get, I mean, can you imagine? You take the size of the Earth, which is ginormous, right? And then you take a pinpoint and pretend that that's a satellite.
Yes.
And then scoot back, I don't know, 14,000 miles or whatever it is, and take a picture. You're not going to see it, dude.
I genuinely feel that some of these comments I've seen over the past week or so, I feel like I'm losing faith in humanity.
I feel like I'm falling for the okie doke. I think most of these are bots, and a lot of them are just rage bait for interaction.
There's all those articles coming out now saying that over 60% of the comments you see are bots.
Yeah, I believe it.
Trying to engage you to react a certain way.
Yeah, and see, I've kind of screwed myself because I make YouTube videos. I have a YouTube channel. It's called Cheap Geek, and you can see all the stuff that I've done that I think is interesting, which, is interesting to me, but evidently is wildly unsuccessful to everybody else who watches, right? Mm-hmm. And I've started putting some videos up because we acquired a golf cart.
Yes.
And it makes doing things like going up in the field and going to the mailbox and all that stuff easier. It's like quick and easy, moving stuff, carrying things. See, it's okay to carry stuff, right? But when you have to carry it like a long distance and it's heavy, it's a thing.
Like a few acres.
Yeah. It's like, so we acquired a golf cart and I've been improving it, doing things like putting on rear view mirrors and, tires that can go in the field and all this other stuff. And so now I'm getting all these, like whatever platform I go to, social media or whatever, like I'll use TikTok, for example, this constant like electric vehicle stuff. Like, an electric vehicle can go 300,000 miles. Can your car do that? Tell me why. And it's just like rage bait stuff, and all of it's wrong.
Yeah.
Cars can go 300,000 miles. So can electric vehicles. When the thing that kills an electric vehicle after time is when that battery goes dead, and they're like, yeah, that'll be $17,000 to replace the battery.
Yeah.
I'm out. Right?
And safely dispose of the previous one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, my electric vehicle doesn't use any petrofuels. Can you say that? It's like your entire car was made out of petrofuels and oil. How do you charge it?
Yeah.
You're using gas or natural gas or whatever, a petroleum product, to charge your electric vehicle. So it's like, who are you fooling, man? I mean, you spend a minute digging into electric vehicles, and the best thing they got going for them is that they're quiet.
Which is kind of a bad thing.
Yeah, especially if you're hard of hearing or you're blind. You're never going to see it coming.
Yeah.
Because you won't hear it.
Yeah.
And so they have like little bells and things, and your car can make little noises when it's backing up. But, and I've been getting them, and I started to fall for it, and I'm like, these are obviously bots. Obviously. Mm-hmm. But people are like, they don't give a crap. They're like tightening up their boots and jumping into the comments and hollering with, it's just like, okay, I'm not going to. So what I start doing is I go into the comments and I'll put bot, like B-O-T, and then false. And then some people are like, explain. And I'll respond with no. And then they get mad and they want to keep going. Well, you can't explain it. And it's like.
See, no. I don't even want to comment because that goes,
sometimes I have to.
You engaged, so let me feed you more.
Sure.
Like, especially on TikTok.
But sometimes it's worth it.
Well, okay.
Like the flat earthers and stuff like that. It's like, it's worth it. Why is the earth the only thing flat? Everything else is a sphere. Why is the earth just the only thing flat? And the whole firmament thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I don't believe it.
Like with you, it's the golf carts, electric vehicles. For me, this is the start of mushroom season and foraging and,
when I like your stuff,
yeah,
I get fed mushroom stuff.
Well, good, because you know what I get fed?
Golf cart stuff?
No. For some reason.
That doesn't seem fair then.
Mushroom culture and foraging culture is closely aligned with stoner culture.
Well,
no offense to anybody. It's just not my thing.
Well, the most popular mushroom is psilocybin,
but
right?
Why, I'm looking at like mushrooms for health food and healthy eating and going into the woods. And they're like, you need these marijuana ads. And I'm like, no.
Well, what's more popular? Putting mushrooms on and some gravy on a steak, or
give me an ad for like some Duluth overalls or some gardening equipment or foraging equipment. Not here's like these gummies.
Well, then you need to go out there and you need to like a whole bunch of Duluth crap, and then you'll get fed, all these Duluth things.
Give me some gardening equipment ads or something.
It's garbage. It is what it is. We're being fed, and I guess the only way to really be okay with it is to have some input into the type of ads you like to see, which I refuse to do on television. I'm not answering your little stupid quiz on Hulu. Which ad do you prefer? Joke's on you. Run the clock out. Run it out. I'm not answering. I don't give a crap. And you know what? I'm tired of all these pharmacy ads. Mm-hmm. Because when they list the symptoms, I have all the symptoms all the time. So I'm like, what does this mean? You know what I mean? Are you dizzy? Yeah, I got all that stuff going on. I'm taking medicine.
Tired?
Yeah,
everybody's tired.
It's like if you don't take this if you're allergic to it. Oh, okay. Why would I do that? I hate it.
Are you tired? The side effect, tired.
Yeah. And the thing is that I think if all that stuff was removed, I don't know if I'd have a better viewing experience.
Yeah.
So there's no winning. But Artemis, the whole thing, to say it's fake is kind of dumb.
I agree.
And then people automatically segue into the census, based around the moon, right? Mm-hmm. And they'll say, well, the moon landing was fake because, why haven't we gone back? I mean, it's like, we don't have the technology. I don't understand. Of course, it's like, no, we don't have the technology to build something from the 60s to go to the moon because it's 2026. And that's like saying, hey, go ahead and fire up this record player and let's take it to the moon. All that stuff was analog back then. Your cell phone has more computing power. Of course, they don't have the same manufacturing methods to make that because the technology is old as shit. Hey, let's take this design for this 60-plus-year-old rocket using illegal rocket fuel now because it'll kill the environment and try to make it go. Everything has to be redone. The principles and fundamentals are the same. I mean, you go back to Werner von Braun and the V2 rockets and stuff. Yeah, that's the same, but everything is different now.
Yeah. Or even just like really simple stuff like the millimeters of steel.
Yeah.
We can't even get that millimeter of steel these days.
And the best steel you can get if you're going to like reclaim steel or whatever is from anything before the atomic age because the steel is different. Because the atomic bombs went off and it fundamentally changed things and smelting processes and all that stuff as far as the quality of the steel that you get.
And then
there's companies out there that are getting shipwrecks because the steel is good.
Yeah.
And it's older and it's stronger and it's better.
Kind of like how people reclaim wood out of like Revolutionary era war houses.
Or out of the swamps or whatever, because it's better wood.
Yeah.
You know, and it's had a chance to grow longer, and it's, you know, all that stuff. And it makes sense because it's like, okay, let's go to the moon. You can't use ancient old technology. And plus, you know, if you're not going to keep going to the moon, you do things like, well, we're not going to go to the moon anymore. Let's wipe everything out and build a space shuttle. Let's get rid of the processes that it took to do that. We need to concentrate on this because NASA doesn't have a never-ending unlimited budget.
Yeah.
It's just the whole lot of this. And same thing with the cameras. Well, who was there to take the picture? It was a spring-loaded deal. They pulled a button and this camera popped out. It's a Hasselblad. Popped out on a little arm and took their picture. How come you can't see the stars? The same way I can focus through a chain link fence and you can't see that. This, you know, depth, you know, your depth of field, the depth perception, all that stuff is, you know, it's just ignorant, you know. How come the flag flopped around? There's no wind. Well, it's a weighted flag. It's going to do that. You have gravity, but less gravity. It's just, you know, it's dumb. And they're saying the same thing about Artemis or whatever. It's like, there's other things to not believe in, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, moving into the podcast, we kind of started talking a little bit about space and stuff like that. And you can't really talk about space without going into UFOs.
Oh.
And so we're going to talk about Nick Pope.
Okay.
Yeah. Because he passed away because he was sick and he had cancer, as that's what his wife said.
Oh, no.
So
that's unfortunate.
Well, I mean, he's one of those guys. I mean, you've seen him on Ancient Aliens, and he is, you know, one of those, like, right at the top when you talk about, like, aliens and stuff like that and UFOs and stuff. He's one of the most prominent UFO people, right? The whole aerial phenomenon or whatever.
Yeah.
He was also in the Britain's Ministry of Defense. So kind of turned himself into a real-life Fox Mulder, according to this article we're looking at. So, yeah, but evidently he was sick, and he spent his remaining days with plenty of laughter and watching various British comedy shows with his wife.
Oh.
That's what his wife said. So, and he did interviews and stuff before he passed away, too. So,
yeah.
He's pretty sick.
Yeah, she was saying how he, you know, still mustered up the courage or the energy, basically, to do those interviews from home, and spent every ounce of energy into informing the world about the UAP secrets to which he was a witness.
Yeah.
So that stinks. So
yeah.
it's
you know, and we've never had a chance to meet Nick Pope, and you know, we've met some UFO peeps. I don't know. Seemed like he'd been a good guy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Remember, we were trying to go to. It was in New Mexico. We were going to see
Stanton Friedman.
Stanton Friedman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he canceled.
Yeah.
Because he didn't feel well, and then he died shortly thereafter. So he had a reason to.
We were going to go to Dulles. Yeah.
No, not Dulles. Why can't I think today?
Because we're both getting over sinus infections and allergies and everything else we got going on.
Yeah.
Well, my
because of the deep underground military base where that other engineer guy was fighting aliens and all that stuff. Aliens and lizard people or reptilians.
My computer has decided I'm not allowed to search and give you your answer.
Well, gee, if you only had a brand new laptop that's been sitting in the box for a month now, that you could crack out and sign on and do all that stuff, that'd be super cool.
Dulce base.
Dulce. Why haven't we seen Dulles? Dulles is a crappy international airport.
Beneath the Archuleta Mesa.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
Yeah, we were heading out that way, and then he passed away, and we decided not to go.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you know. Yeah. I like Nick Pope. Like, especially on Ancient Aliens and stuff. And he did a couple things. And one of the things that he did, he went with somebody that is not as important as him. Maybe it was Josh Gates.
Which is
Anyway, he went to basically like their Area 51 over in England. It just looked like a farmhouse, but underneath it was like tunnels that went for miles. It was all built during World War II. And after World War II, a lot of facilities were supposed to go back to, that was my computer. I don't know why it's being, anyway, was supposed to go, back to the people, if you will. And nope, this got kept.
Oh, wow.
And they showed up And he was like, I'm not going any further. Because he knew what was going to happen. And the other dude's like, I'm going to go down there. And the dude went down there and started standing by the fence, and the cops were instantly there. Nick Pope's back by the car. He's like looking, I told him, man, you know.
Oh, gosh.
I thought it was pretty funny, but
Yeah.
Sorry, Nick. You know, and and it seems like shortly at the same time, Major Ed Dames.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know if you remember Ed Dames, but we used to listen to Art Bell all the time and stuff. We were in separate domiciles then.
Yes.
And Major Ed Dames and remote viewing. He'd come on and talk about stuff.
God.
He's passed too.
Yeah.
Like recently.
April 2nd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or no, March 27th. But it wasn't announced until the 2nd.
Right.
So that's
Major Ed Dames.
Yeah. Leaves behind a legacy that moved the unseen into the light of public awareness. So, yeah, how far can the human mind reach?
Yeah.
It's just kind of sad because now it's like these are like icons in the communities. That
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about remote viewing, is Ed Dames, right? UFO stuff, there's a plethora of people, but Nick Pope is in there. And when you talk about like the face on Mars or anything on other planets, it was Hoagland.
Yeah.
And, you know, so I think if you go to remoteviewingmatrix.com, that's the definitive repository of Ed Dames' teachings. So he was all about that sort of thing, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So at least he put his body of knowledge where you can kind of get to it. But I mean, he's got a long history with that. So I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. But I think what was that movie, Men Who Stare at Goats?
Yeah.
I think that's loosely based on his experience.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
yeah. On Coast to Coast, he had a nickname. It was Dr. Doom. So he picked it up in the intelligence community because he had dire predictions on everything. So, yeah. Kind of crazy, man. People dropping off. Yeah. So in our last podcast episode, we did some talking about Ohio Bigfoot flap and some other things. Well, there was enough Ohio Bigfoot sightings in the Ohio Bigfoot community and the people in Ohio. I've said Ohio like 5 times. Where the police actually had to pop out there and say some stuff.
Oh.
They had to address it. You know?
Yeah.
Let me figure out if I can mute my computer before this thing starts trying to talk.
Just screaming at you.
Yeah, just like start yelling in my ear.
Yeah.
But yeah, they came out and put a statement out, right? Because there's been multiple Bigfoot sightings, and maybe it was a podcast before this one or last one. I can't remember exactly, but so there was a bunch of sightings that happened. There was a timeline that put out there, and Last Watch kind of put it out there, put his little TikTok on there because he summed it up really well, made it easy for us. Thank you very much. So Sheriff Bruce Zukowski said 10 people have told him about seeing a big creature.
Okay.
So he acknowledged the sightings, and he shared an AI photo on Facebook saying, breaking news, Sheriff Bruce D. Zukowski has detained Bigfoot.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like we've learned that Bigfoot is in our country illegally, and we are working diligently with ICE and Border Patrol to deport this creature back to Canada.
Oh.
So he thought it was a lighthearted post. That kind of aggravates me. Like, all right, so you got people that are saying, hey, I'm seeing something, and I'm genuinely concerned, and it's blown up over social media, and you turn it into an ICE joke. And why does he got to go back to Canada?
I don't know.
Why did he pick Canada to go back to? And if anything, I mean, isn't he indigenous? If you want to look at Bigfoot, I think he'd be considered indigenous. But if you're one of those people that thinks either A, Bigfoot is a ghost, or B, he can, step in between parallel universes or dimensions. I mean, I guess if you can come from a parallel universe and step in here, then if you don't have some kind of passport or your towel, then you're probably illegal.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, why would you go that?
Yeah. That's kind of just, I don't know. Not distasteful, but just.
No, it is. It's distasteful.
Yeah.
No. It's like when we went and did a thing and helped in the planning of a UFO festival. And we go to a meeting because we had legitimate questions. Mm-hmm. More from a vendor side of things, but we had questions. And they're like, well, come down and talk to us. And then they started to yuck it up and make fun of the people that would be going to this UFO thing. Mm-hmm. I was like, what are you guys doing? You think it's funny. You're going to piss everyone off because they take it seriously. That's why they're taking their time to go down there and spend their money to see other like-minded people. Some people sure are there to yuck it up, but a lot of people take it seriously, and you need to take it seriously.
Oh, I got tea about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say that for...
Yeah.
So that's what he put out, and I'm like, well... Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
But then, several days later, guess what?
What?
Canada have reported some Bigfoot sightings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So did they actually get sent back to Canada? Or is it just coincidence?
Just coincidence.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This was in Chatham, Kent, Bigfoot.
Where is that?
3 sightings.
Ontario.
Yeah, around Ontario.
Yeah.
So they've had 3 sightings reported across the region out there. It's been centered on the large furry being making stops across the community. And the Bigfoot Mapping Project basically shows the sightings in Thamesville, Dresden, and Raglan over the past week.
Okay.
And so when they were asked about the reports, Tom Chalmers, who's an area resident, basically had a little chuckle. He said, so I've heard and seen a lot of odd things, but no, Bigfoot has not been one of them, I'm afraid. So they just asked some random dude what makes him okay. So,
yeah.
But across social media, there's been lots of posts about supposed Chatham, Kent Sasquatch. Have generated a lot of buzz, of course, but not everyone is skeptical. Like one guy, everything is possible. So that's Mike Uwolds. It's like, isn't it just supposed to be anything is possible?
Yeah.
Everything.
Everything is possible.
It's all possible, man.
It's all.
Right. Oh, so, and there's been a couple reports, but in one of the reports, an individual stated that Bigfoot was seen April 4th standing out at nearly 9 feet tall. It's pretty tall.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. He doesn't say exactly where, but what I like is that he had cinnamon-colored hair. So it's a good description. People say reddish brown. This guy's like cinnamon. And so you instantly know what he looks like. Not the guy, Bigfoot. Cinnamon. It just struck me as funny. You know what I mean? It's like 8 foot tall, has cinnamon brown hair. So you're looking up cinnamon?
I was looking up the Neil Young song. Okay.
You're going to live with a cinnamon girl?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Lana Del Rey redid that song. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So maybe he was either listening to some Neil Young or was listening to Lana Del Rey. Yeah.
I don't know who
to
really
be inspired to what?
I don't know who really wins there.
I know.
Yep. But there really hasn't been a whole lot of like real information in this article other than there's been reported Bigfoot sightings.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What I do know is I just think it's in poor taste for a police chief to get out there and take people's fears and, information and try to cast some sideways joke about it, thinking he's funny. And it's like, wow.
Well, inconsiderate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, good job, man. So, yeah. But I do like this. Another potential reason behind the reported sightings, because when articles don't take these sort of things seriously, they have to describe why it's not Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And how the person that makes a claim saying that they've seen Bigfoot is just an idiot. Another potential reason behind the reported sightings is the overlap with the description of the North American black bear or alternatively, a Bigfoot hoaxer, someone who's trying to spread a false narrative to implicate its existence.
Oh, okay then.
So you don't know what you're seeing, and somebody made it up or is playing a joke on you.
So it could only be those two things. Yeah. Okay. All
and
right.
I keep going back to like Mothman and stuff, where it's like some dude in New York says, "Oh man, what you're seeing is a big ass bird." Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know what a big bird looks like, but I do. I'm in New York City. I can totally tell you what you've seen or didn't see.
Yeah.
Let's just discount the fact that you lived in that area your entire life and you're a freaking farmer.
Yeah.
So you know what animals are out and about. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I find it interesting because I was expecting like a rash of Bigfoot sightings to happen in like Ohio or someplace else, especially with all the news going on right now.
Well, if they're traveling, they'll be heading down this way.
But Canada, okay.
Well, Canada's got Bigfoot sightings and stuff.
That's true. Yeah.
I just thought it was kind of coincidental. Yeah, but this is one of those articles where you read it and down at the very bottom it says, read also, BC man's Sasquatch seeking expeditions used against him in spousal support case.
Wow.
It's like, there you go.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is something that is getting some traction and probably not so much a good way. So we've talked about like manufactured food shortages and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, this could almost be lumped into there. Kimberly Clark makes lots of paper products and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And they had their toilet paper or one of the big warehouses just destroyed by arson due to a disgruntled employee. I think this is in Ontario, California.
6-alarm fire, structure
like
fire.
170 or 180 firefighters there trying to put this out. So,
jeez.
Well, I guess if you are going to make food scarce, what happens? It's an inevitable sort of outcome when you eat food and you live in America that you're going to need some toilet paper. The rest of the world use things like water hoses in their hands to take care of that.
Stop.
It's true. I mean, your Europeans are like, I don't understand why they don't use a bidet. It's like, well, all right, you're just going to blast yourself and then drip dry or hope for the best. Don't you got to keep, Anyway. So, is this added to it or what? What do you think? I mean, what would be next? Take care of the food, take care of the cleaning up afterwards. What's next in this artificial shortage of things we can get pumped up and
I do find this
pay
really
more in the inflationary rates?
Yeah, this is really odd. It's, such a large facility.
1.2 million square feet.
Yeah. And it's funny because me and a coworker were talking the other day about we have a local gas station that has a restaurant inside, and we thought the restaurant caught fire. Turns out it wasn't the restaurant. It was a drink cooler inside the gas station is what triggered the fire, and it spread to...
Are you talking about Stuckey's / Dairy Queen?
Yeah. The drink cooler on the Stuckey's side spread quickly to the Dairy Queen side because the vents...
Yeah, vent fires are terrible.
Yeah. And we were just...
So we got to stop because we were going to talk about this in the podcast before and we just forgot.
Yeah.
So that's one fast food / food place, whatever, caught fire. Mm-hmm. Then we had Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut.
Caught on fire.
And it was the same situation where one of the cool storage products, like something that they'd put soda or something they'd put ranch sauce in, one of those things malfunctioned and it spread up into the vents. And then the vents, it was considered a vent fire.
Yeah, because you get dust in the vents. That was the worst. When I was in the Navy, we trained for that because that was the scariest thing, is to have a vent fire. Yeah. Because it just spreads everywhere like super fast. Mm-hmm. And then, didn't Papa John's catch on fire?
Papa John's did catch on fire.
Papa John's caught on fire. Mm-hmm. And I'm missing one.
We are missing one. Oh, my goodness.
And this is a small town.
Yes.
So it's so small you can lump our town and the other town together. And it still makes a small town. And to have that many fires, like with food, just seems kind of non-coincidental. Do you know what the fourth one was? I can't remember.
The big classic restaurant that's up in Blowing Rock, the one that everybody goes to because it's tourist icon. That place caught fire.
That's 4.
Yep. On top of that, they figured out that our current wildfire was started because a woman threw a cigarette.
Well, okay, so here's what we've had a bunch of wildfires all of a sudden, but
yeah.
And we did get asked if we were okay. Like, yeah, we're fine.
Yeah.
Some of the things that they'll say starts fires when they don't 100% know. A cigarette, because they'll see cigarette butts and just assume. Broken glass, because the sun will go through it and it becomes magnifying glass and can catch things on fire. Downed power lines can set stuff on fire, even when there's no downed power lines there. So, the more common ones, like they couldn't say lightning this time.
Yeah.
Because we haven't had any real rain. We're in a drought. But last year, or right after Helene, when things caught on fire, they said the truth. People just out there burning stuff, and the winds came up and it just blew stuff.
Yeah. So this was basically they're claiming this particular woman in the citation. The woman admitted that she removed hot ash from a cigar she was smoking while at the edge of a wooded bank that was being cleared near Locust Cove Road. At which point the fire then spread to private and U.S. Forest Service lands. And it's messed up because this is in one of the pretty older neighborhoods too. So, yeah. Called the Jumping Branch Fire because the other weird thing about this particular wildfire we've just been through and is mostly contained, it's literally jumping branches. And by branch, I mean creek or tributaries.
Yeah.
Or even foothills.
Things are so dry.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
they were even filling up at, I think, Lake James.
Just seeing, like, fire move underground, and you're not, like, in Hawaii or something, but you see.
Oh, man, it happens a lot.
So.
Yep. So the next thing will happen in our area, just in case you're curious as to what scares people when they start putting stuff on Facebook, is they're like, have you seen those military planes? I've seen lots of helicopters and military planes. It happens every year. Training happens. This is a transit area. It's not a big deal. People freak out over it. I had a Black Hawk helicopter flying over my house. Well, yeah, that's where helicopters fly in the sky. Your house is there.
Yeah.
I mean, they may not be flying directly over your house, but you get 1,000 feet up in the air, you're over everybody's house.
But before the flying, jets or helicopters or black helicopters, we have the inevitable, I heard a boom. Did you hear a boom?
Yeah.
Those are the new ones.
Well, it's funny you bring that up. I heard a boom.
Yes.
Last week. It scared me real bad.
Yeah.
So I'm out there goofing around with the golf cart.
Okay.
And I heard this loud boom. You know what it was?
What?
Pontoon boat. Those pontoons, man, they just expand and contract, and this sounds like a huge drum, but this thing was crazy loud. Because I was sitting there, and I was going to do something, make a video or something like that, and it boomed so loud, because the pontoon boat's like right next to where the golf cart is, so it was great. But it was one of the loudest pontoon boat booms I've heard. It's my brother's pontoon boat. Which is funny. It probably explains why the dog is scared to go out at night. Because that thing, when it gets cold, it'll boom, right? Because everything contracts. And I'm not a pontoon boat owner, so I don't know if that's normal or not. Because after it booms so loud, I'm like, I wonder if that's normal. I mean, metal expands, contracts, and you do get, noises and things like that. And it does boom, and it's boomed ever since it's, I've seen it. But this was super loud. It scared me real bad. You know what else scares me real bad?
What?
This golf cart has headlights and turn signals and brake lights and stuff, and it has a horn. And the horn is at the very end of the turn signal switch.
Yes.
And it's just the stalk or the switch part itself, it sticks out really far. Because you're in a small golf cart, and it's like regular car size. And every time I get out of that thing, if I touch it, it's so sensitive. It is the loudest. It's louder than a car horn.
Yeah.
And it scares me every time I hit it. And the last time I brushed up against it, it went off, and it scared me, so I shook, and it honked like 3 times So I was like, oh, honk, 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 trying to get away from this stupid thing.
It's okay. I was trying to repark it for you the other night, and when I went to step out because Jack was with me, I got tangled on his leash, and it's like 11 o'clock at night, honk, just right out front. So
I think it's crazy loud.
Yeah.
I want to disconnect it, but I should just get used to it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So it was this toilet paper fire. So evidently there was a disgruntled employee.
Yeah, and it's weird. He recorded it.
Yeah, it's like a YouTube video I seen it on TikTok, but the short's been making the rounds. But he said, you can't afford to pay us. And then he basically takes a lighter and lights it on fire. But the way the guy speaks and his name don't match. I wasn't expecting his name based off of how he sounded. I know that sounds, pretty
a little
bad
offensive.
to say. Yeah, but it's like when you have a name like Shamel, Abu, Dakarim, or I can't even say it, Kareem. Mm-hmm. And he sounded like a white dude. And I'm like, why? What's going on here? Is there more to this, right? Because, people, I'm not trying to be crazy, but, people change their names if they, change religions and stuff like that. Is that the case with this guy or what? I don't understand. Or is this just we're being fed information kind of a thing? Because I got to be skeptical about things. Because when things don't start adding up, when enough things happen, you start to see patterns like food manufacturing facilities all of a sudden catching on fire, and then they keep catching on fire. We keep having fires like food places around here. All of a sudden, toilet paper factory goes on fire. It goes up on fire, and that's a big place too. Okay. And we've been, it seems like the preppers and everybody else is, doubled down on the get ready, man. Things are getting bad, which they've been saying since forever, right? We're not going to have any oil either, so stockers got to start stockpiling. Get all your wood, plant a garden. So I'm sure they're pretty happy that all their efforts are not going to go in vain when the end comes, because they've been saying this for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Even longer, but they got super popular, right? You better start stockpiling. I told you. Now all these people still have like COVID toilet paper are like, woo.
So
glad we got it.
Because I work in tourism and I work in a visitor center, we have realtors that come in and try to give us stuff, right? And one of the realtors, we were like, look, we're for tourists, not people moving here, all this other stuff. Got a card, started looking it up, and this realtor has a whole side website that is all about selling directly to preppers.
Why not?
This land is over 40 minutes away from the nearest whatever.
Well, that doesn't mean preppers.
But then it says this land is a prepper's paradise. It's got a full, and everything said prepper, off-grid.
He needs to update his card.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it was a guy. Was it a guy?
It was a couple.
Okay.
So,
well, they need to update and replace the word prepper with homesteader, and they'll be fine.
Yeah. No, they have a whole, you click on one part of the website, it's just normal. It's the same listing, but it's like normal. Then you go and you click on the other part of the website and talks about how this is a prepper's dream homestead. This is a prepper's dream house. Do they have links where you can
buy like 72 hours worth of food?
No, it's only realty, because it's like this place is, and this area is going through a housing boom or whatever, in the sense that everybody's trying to buy up land. So one of the big things that people are using in their keywords and in their marketing of different houses and stuff is off-grid, prepper, cold storage, all these little keywords and buzzwords just to get a house sold. So,
well, it's good to use those words if you're looking for stuff like that, because you don't want to buy a 10-acre chunk of land to be a homesteader, which you'd be storing stuff anyway, like a prepper would do.
Yeah.
Only to find out it's part of some weird HOA, and you can't do any of the stuff that you want.
Which is why a lot of
people stop buying land in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Because they'll say, well, we have an HOA to take care of the roads and stuff so that you can get in and out of your property. But to me, all HOAs are the devil, and I do not care what you say. Well, HOAs beautify. No, they don't.
No, they don't.
All it takes is for somebody to be elected to your HOA board and start enacting weird rules and stuff. And then you become unhappy. Mm-hmm. And it's a thing. HOA nightmares Man.
You wake up one day and suddenly your house can only be one of 3 shades of beige.
Yeah.
So.
And you have to pay like the fees. And I just, and some of the places tell you straight up, well, here's what you can do with your land. You can't do anything different.
Yep.
So if you're going to buy a land, you should probably make sure that you have all the mineral rights and there's, maybe no exceptions to it. So if you like wanted to, raise cows or whatever, or live a homesteader style life where you're doing your own thing, that you're actually able to do it. And a lot of that's going away. So people buy property thinking they could just pull up and put a camper on it while they build a house. And they're shocked when the city comes or the county shows up and says, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Because you can't live in that camper because you're not tied into sewage or city or whatever. And you're like, well, I'm building a house and I was going to do it then. No, you can't do that. Or you can't do that because you don't have actual power written to it or, written to it. And you say, well, it's farmland. And they say, well, it's not zoned that way and you're not allowed to do it. And you're like, well, I wonder how they found out. Oh, well, your HOA called the cops on you. Because they don't want you to do something that they don't want to see. Granted, you should try to blend and be good with your neighbors and all that stuff. But at the same time, if you don't like something that I'm doing, who are you to tell me that you don't like something? I don't care. You didn't exist until you had a complaint, right? That's the way a lot of things go. It's like, you don't like my shade of gray on my house? How dare you? I don't like how big your head is. Your head is entirely too large for your body.
Oh.
Who can I call about that? You can't.
Yeah.
That was a comment that one of the trainers, when I was in the Navy, we had instructing, 2 instructors per class.
Yeah.
And that was one of the end of course comments he got. Instructor, I won't say his name. I'll just call him Paul because that's his first name. Instructor Paul's head is entirely too large for his body. Who do I speak to about that? And the thing is that every comment had to be gone over by our supervisor to see if we could make things better. What could we do to improve the class, that kind of thing. And it was pretty straightforward and pretty forward thinking in the military at that time. So we had to sit there while our supervisor was talking to Paul about how large his head is and what can we do to address that. So, and the supervisor was kind of joking around. Well, Paul was just getting more and more angry. It's so funny because I was trying to be helpful and saying, well, maybe you can get a shorter haircut. Yeah, maybe you can grow more hair. Maybe that'll do it. Maybe your face is just actually too small. Maybe you can buy larger glasses. He was very angry about it. It was pretty funny. I guess you had to have been there. Yep. All right. So I seen this, and at 3:00 in the morning, it kind of gave me some pause, and I had to really think about it.
Okay.
And since then, it has been allegedly debunked. I say allegedly because what if, right? Mm-hmm. But I really thought, because when you hear about things that may or may not happen, catastrophes or whatever, looming, impending doom type scenarios, I'm one to try to figure out what would be the possibility of survival. If it's really not that bad, how could you survive?
Okay.
Like if you lived on the coast and you knew a tidal wave was coming, you can just drive away, right? It's the idea of, is this such a serious threat where I need to take it seriously and drive away? Or what do I got? You know what I mean? Because we grew up in hurricane. We have seasons, hurricane seasons, right? So you had to really sort of judge, is it really that bad? Like, do I really need to go? Or is this going to do like it always does and just kind of get wet and move some stuff around and we'll be okay? Well, this one I seen, and it kind of messed me up a little bit because it says, is Earth losing gravity for 7 seconds on August 12th?
What?
Yeah. So this started with some podcast was talking about it. And of course, the clips made it all over the place, but I'd seen it on TikTok, of course, right? And it says they went viral because they were claiming that, and they said they got it from somewhere else, but so it was put out there that Earth will lose gravity for 7 seconds on August 12th, 2026. And the idea of things just completely losing gravity, right, could cause up to 40 million deaths. Because according to the video, right, people could float roughly 150 feet in the air before gravity returns. So if you were an anchor down, you're like doing your thing, living your life, and all of a sudden, boom, you lose gravity. You count to 7, you can get up pretty far. And then when it comes back, you're going to fall. And if it loses gravity, you got cars going in the air, all sorts of stuff's going to be in the air. Like, so how do you survive, right? Now, if you're anchored to the ground, or maybe if you're in a facility or a house or a structure, whatever that has a foundation stuff, then you probably just go up to the ceiling, right? And then if you fall, you're going to fall the height of the ceiling, 9 feet, whatever. Still, it's a thing, right? And so the more you think about what could be affected if gravity turned off for 7 seconds, the scarier it starts to get. You know, if you're flying in a plane, what happens when gravity goes off? You know, you're going to shoot up, right? And then what happens when it comes back on? And it keeps, the more you could really lose some sleep over thinking, how do I prepare for something like this? How can I survive this? We strap ourselves to the ground. What if the whole house goes up? You know, do you go outside and stake yourself to the ground?
Oh my God, I'm getting so upset right now. No, so that is just, gravity is a law of physics, right? It is one aspect of physics. Should gravity temporarily suspend, in order for the floating to happen, that means other parts of physics would also have to be disabled. Because otherwise, let's just say we temporarily suspend gravity. Just like how we trick gravity when we're in those diving planes that shoot right up. And you have those, like, you know, a couple of seconds of floating.
Well, technically you're not floating, you're falling.
Yeah.
So the universe is
and here's the
space,
thing.
you're just falling
with those planes, you are in a contained structure. So when you fall, you're falling, and you are technically falling at an angle, but you are inside that structure. So everything's safe. If this were to happen, I don't think people would necessarily fly up. Some people may actually just slam harder into the earth.
I'd rather be one of those people.
As in, due to the Earth's continuous rotation, you might slam into the Earth at the speed in which the Earth rotates.
Well, if gravity is holding you down,
far more violent than floating up in the air.
Because the Earth is like spinning at 14,000 miles an hour or whatever. Well, if gravity stops and you've got nothing holding you down, so are you going to fly up in the air at 14,000 miles an hour?
Here's the thing. If gravity stops, what's to say things actually float up and not actually slam downward or become compressed? How is gravity stopping? Is it absent, or is it truly suspended?
Well, allegedly, intersecting gravitational forces from two black holes or something like that is what's going to cause, a suspension of gravity for 7 seconds. What made it scary was, allegedly, this is a secret NASA report. And if you start to factor in all the other good conspiratorial things, why have the billionaires started building underground bunkers?
Oh, I hate everyone.
More than ever. So, yeah, if you sit there and you start thinking about, okay, so how could I survive?
That's not something.
On a budget.
On a budget. Watch my TikTok now.
Look, it's inflation, man. Shit's tough now, right?
Buy my $8.99 ebook on surviving gravity.
We buy food. It's junk food. It's terrible for you. There's less of it. Costs more. Now we got no toilet paper.
You've upset the dog.
I can't get a pizza anywhere. You know what I mean? Everything's already on fire. Let's just throw some
suspended gravity.
Yeah. And I was thinking, well, our anniversary's 10 days later. It's like, well, how's that going to work? And so you're like, well, I'll just tie a long rope to myself or whatever. But then, all right, that rope's going to be great.
Romantic.
It's going to keep you from flying out into space. But when the gravity comes back or getting burned up in the atmosphere, right? When gravity comes back, maybe you don't want to smack the ground. Don't let the dog smell all in the microphone.
He's providing his feedback.
Well, maybe he's worried about it.
Jack,
he's like, what does this mean?
Are you worried about space and gravity?
He's like, 7 seconds seems like a long time.
Do you think gravity will suspend?
Isn't that the same as but that's like a rodeo movie or something like that. But anyway.
Hold on to the earth for 7 seconds.
So According to the reports, the claim started on a social media post, right, of a dramatic woman claiming that NASA is hiding this from people. And based on her claims, the government agency already knows about it. Earth's going to lose gravity for 7 seconds in August, but it's keeping it from public knowledge. Right? So the gravity loss theory appeared on the YSK podcast and quickly gained traction on TikTok, right? With thousands of people sharing the short clips summarizing the prediction, and the claim described a precise timeline suggesting that on the morning of the 12th, August 26th, gravity would temporarily vanish worldwide for 7 seconds. Evidently, this has been debunked as a hoax.
No.
So, but I mean, is it really? Do we actually know? You know what I'm going to be?
What?
I'm going to be wearing a seatbelt.
What if it does the opposite? Like I'm saying.
What? You just have some forces put on you? Well, it depends how many G-forces you get put on you.
How many other laws of physics have to be
You
suspended?
only have to suspend one to kill you.
That's very true.
Well, name another one. Is it inertia going to kill us? The lack of?
See, that was a conspiracy theory for a long time. It was like,
if the world stopped spinning?
yeah, and it was because
You
of the
just
stupid
slamming the stuff at 14,000 miles an hour?
Yeah.
Maybe. It goes back to, well, if you're falling in an elevator because it's broken its cable and it's heading towards the bottom, if you jump right beforehand, will you be okay?
Yeah.
And people are like, sure, until the top of the elevator smashes you down to the ground. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess. If we're doing a podcast August 13th, we'll be all right. So, by then we'll forget and go on vacation or something like that. So, because we're real good at not telling people when we go on vacation, because we don't want people to know.
Yes.
You don't need to know what we're up to. So, even the dog doesn't know what we're up to. So, we do the podcast, the dog thinks we're talking to him. I think all dogs are like that.
Yeah.
Because Pepper used to think the same thing. Why are they talking to me? But look at him looking at me. It's like, what's going on, guys? You know what it really is?
What?
It's dinner time.
That's
He's like,
very
hey,
true.
guys, where are you at?
Yeah.
It's time. Bring me my food. Is he grumbling? Groaning in the microphone. Jack. He's the most vocal dog. He just groans and grunts. And
Jack, are you? Oh, okay then.
are you trying to talk? Oh. 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 Don't come over. He groaned himself into a cough and then tried to jump up on my lap underneath the table.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Attacking me in my nether regions. All right. So anyway, I did think about that for a minute to figure out how we were going to be able to survive, and it's like, so let me think on this. And then I woke up and said that okay, it's a hoax. I'm like, well, all right, I'll
If
table
you
that.
had woken me up with
I
this,
thought about it.
I would have just
And be like, hey, if I buy a bunch of long rebar spikes or something like that off of Amazon, don't worry about it.
mind your business.
Mm-hmm. Why are we getting? Do we need this much toe straps? So I'm like, I got a 30. No, it's a 20,000 pound toe strap. I'm pretty sure we could be all right. So speaking of new technology, we're going to talk about this right quick.
Okay.
This also came off TikTok, so it's real. Mm-hmm. Ghost Murmur.
Ghost Murmur.
Yeah, purportedly used in Iran
Okay.
to find the downed pilot.
Ghost Murmur is described as a futuristic CIA tool that could detect a heartbeat from vast distances.
Yes.
However, physicists say the public story clashes with the basic limits of magnetic sensing. Okay. So, wow. On Monday afternoon, President Donald Trump and CIA Director John Ratcliffe hinted at technology that had helped locate a downed American Air Force officer hiding in a mountain crevice in southern Iran. By Tuesday, the New York Post reported that the CIA had deployed Ghost Murmur, a device that uses vaguely described long-range quantum magnetometry to find signals of human heartbeats, after which artificial intelligence software isolates each heartbeat from the noisy data. That's almost redundant. You could have just said noise. An unnamed source told the Post it was like hearing a voice in a stadium, except the stadium is 1,000 square miles of desert. Another line landed like a movie tagline. In the right conditions, if your heart is beating, we will find you. So that's a terrific story. It is also, according to scientists who study magnetic fields, almost certainly not true. The rescue's real. The mission involved multiple aircraft, a survival beacon carried by airmen, but Ghost Murmur, at least as publicly described, finds no support in decades of peer-reviewed physics, even with the help of AI, experts told the journalist that wrote this article. So, quantum magnetometers are real. They're ultra-precise at, for instance, detecting heart arrhythmias by measuring magnetic fields via quantum properties produced by the cardiac muscle. The problem is that the heart's magnetic field is weak. At the surface of the chest, where you're about 10 centimeters away from the source, the magnetic field is just barely detectable. Now, if instead of going 10 centimeters away, which is 1/10 of a meter, you go a meter away, the amplitude of the signal has dropped to 1,000th of what it is. So the signal becomes dramatically weaker at 1 kilometer.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
So what if this person had a device that would amplify that signal? See, I read this and I understand that they're basically saying, scientists say that this is not going to work. Yeah. Right.
So,
and I also know
yeah,
that a lot of times scientists don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Scientists?
Yeah. Because scientists are only scientists in their field. Mm-hmm. That's where they're experts.
Which is why
and they can speculate. Right. They can speculate. Mm-hmm. They don't know what the government has. And they don't know, or they think that they don't know what the government has, right? So they just assume things.
But
hold on. They're not factoring in the government also has scientists. Mm-hmm. And you have certain stumbling blocks to success. And what if you can overcome those stumbling blocks? Like, okay, if the signal is not strong enough, let's amplify the signal.
But of all the things to amplify, why would you amplify
because the heart's like a
heartbeat?
fingerprint. Everyone's heart is individual to them.
But you can find other anonymous things to amplify.
Sure, like what?
Like a top secret coded message or a top secret coded Morse code type signal.
Sure. You could make them wear a piece of radioactive stuff that they
And heartbeats aren't necessarily fingerprints. You can find heartbeats that are similar, especially within
every heartbeat. No, you were wrong on this. Every heartbeat is individual. They sound specific. They are specific to the individual. I don't know what he's doing over there. He's making noise now.
He is building a house.
Well,
he is building a pillow fort.
Fix his little bed so he can get in there, and just in case gravity goes, he can be on a pillow.
I disagree.
Well, you can disagree all you want, scientist. You don't know what I got. I am the government. I've already broke out with some future sci-fi weapons that nobody knew existed. It's funny because if you go back and you look at one that happened, I think it was in Venezuela, where they were talking about, 130 people all of a sudden got sick. How did that happen? And then you go back to our podcast where we talk about the whole, the crickets that people were hearing in Cuba, the ambassadors for different countries, and they're having problems, right? Being like terribly sick and everything, and they're thinking it's microwave or acoustically generated. And then funny thing is, I watched an X-Files episode from the 90s.
Yeah.
And they said exactly the same thing. So I don't know. Is this something where they actually use technology and were able to find this pilot and then let everybody else just run with it? Mm-hmm. And so they're just saying stuff and they're not saying no because it is a secret technology that we don't want everyone to know that we have right now?
If you were to amplify a human heartbeat.
They didn't actually say it was the heartbeat.
Okay. Ghost Murmur was described as a futuristic CIA tool that could detect a heartbeat from vast distances.
That's what Ghost Murmur is.
Okay.
Is that what they said they used when they did a press conference?
By Tuesday, New York Post reported that CIA had deployed Ghost Murmur, a device that uses vaguely described long-range quantum magnetometry to find signals of human heartbeats. After which, artificial intelligence software isolates each heartbeat from noisy data.
So what if? What if they can look through dimensions and stuff? It's quantum, man. Everything happens all at the same time. Range and things like that. No, range and things like that doesn't apply. What do you think about that?
I think I'm going to have an aneurysm.
That would be easily detectable.
Oh, yes, it would. It would be very easy to detect.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't believe you.
You don't have to believe me.
Well, that's true. Anyway, moving on.
Oh, okay.
No, we have. See, and here's the thing too. If you're hearing about technology, and this goes back, a long time, the government's already had it for 30 years. So by the time you hear about it, it's been in play for a long time, just in case. And people are like, well, that's not true. That's just. But we were launching drones off our ship so that a brand new destroyer could shoot them down as part of their sea trials before they were considered ready for, to be used, deployed in the fleet and all that stuff. Those drones were from 1942.
Okay.
And these are rocket-powered drones. So, and this was like in the 90s.
Yeah.
So I believe that the government, with DARPA and everything, actually has cool technology and has been perfecting it and putting it in place to be used for a long, long time. So I don't necessarily discount what the scientists are saying, but I also think that there's something to this because they wouldn't have mentioned it if something didn't exist. Maybe the specifics aren't out there. But I mean, you got the government buying aliens.com. You got U.S. Navy scientists buying alternative propulsion, or not buying, but putting in for alternative propulsion patents and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of things going on. You start to add it all up and it means something.
Okay.
And if you look at some of the triangular craft that have been around for a long time that people say, oh, they don't really exist. They got triangular craft out there flying right now. And if you look at it, it's all old technology now. So now it can come out.
It is.
And it's still light years ahead of what other people have, other countries.
However, there are certain instances where I think that train of thought has actually been flipped on its head, starting with the late 80s, early 90s, where not just the U.S., but other places as well, government got so filled with bureaucracy and financial allotments for types of projects and things like that, that technology startups and independent entities have started to develop technology that either aids in some of this secret technology or jumps leaps and bounds ahead of something that maybe the government's been working on for a while.
Sure.
Now, when that happens, do these shadow government entities buy those tech groups out? Absolutely. But I don't think for a lot of the modern problems or nuances that we're dealing with now, I think are coming out of the minds of, some little nerd in a garage in Arizona as opposed to an entire think tank and military scientific development team. Because there's just so much funneling of money and then the trickle down of every single government. By the time it hits those scientists and those brilliant minds, you've got $2,000 to come up with this idea. I'm just a cynic like that. So
yeah, I don't even know what you just said.
Okay.
So what are you saying? Are you for it?
I don't think.
Are you against it? Nuts and bolts this thing for me. Because you're saying it, the new technology, advanced future technology back then, as time progresses, becomes common. And so they could do it much cheaper now. And does the government seek in and grab it?
Or independent entities not beholden to a government are probably
Absolutely.
coming up with better technology
Yeah,
or
you think that the government doesn't scalp?
coming up with technology faster.
I mean, there's a video of these MIT grads flying a pizza box using its own plasma.
Yeah.
Which is funny because that's right around the time that the government decided to go ahead and have that scientists for the Navy start to patent alternative propulsions.
Yeah.
And then if you go back even further, using mercury engines and things like that, you go back to the whole flying bells and stuff that the Nazis had. So who's to know what we really have? Nobody. I like the idea that we just so technologically advanced that if you want to come over here and try something, we got something for you. And our fallback is people got guns here. And some of them are not smart. So they're just going to shoot any invader, which may or may not be good for us if it ever comes down to it. It's kind of hard to say. Mm-hmm. Anyway, moving back into the podcast, we're going to talk about a couple different things, and then we're going to start to wrap it up. Because this goes with the whole aliens thing. We've had a whole bunch of alien stuff magically occur.
Who is this guy?
Who's what guy? Burchett?
Matt Gates.
You know,
This thing. What is this?
just stop.
Okay. But
You
Burchett,
don't know who Matt Gates is. All right.
Representative Tim Burchett of Tennessee, Burchett on aliens. You'd be up at night if the things that I've seen are released.
Yeah,
Okay.
People have been telling him some things. And he talks about all sorts of things. Like, he discussed his knowledge surrounding aliens, and he told the Newsmax the host, that quote, that basically you'd be up at night, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, we just need to disclose it all.
Oh.
So he talks and basically says that the U.S. government may have purposely hidden information about unidentified anomalous phenomena. Right? He says, I think there's a cover-up. Right?
Okay.
He's not saying anything that people haven't said in the past, right?
Yeah.
There are tens of millions of dollars that are spent investigating these things. We've had departments tell us that they have recovery units and they won't release full reports. Everything's covered up.
All right.
Right. And so in February, President Trump said he would order the Pentagon and other agencies, right, to release files on UFOs and alien and extraterrestrial life to the public. This is based on tremendous interest shown. The president said on Truth Social, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files on alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomenon, unidentified flying objects, and any other information connected with this stuff.
Okay.
So if you see any of the clips of this guy Burchett talking, he talks about everything from alien hybrids to all that, and he's not denying any of it. He's like, this is what I've had people come up and tell me, high-ranking people and all that, and they're just feeding this guy stuff. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I put this in here is because this segues into something we're not going to talk about yet because it's not really out yet. Bob Lazar.
Oh, okay.
There is an idea that the government was feeding Bob Lazar misinformation so that when he released it, it would take basically take the eyes off of whatever they were doing and put it somewhere else as a distraction.
Okay.
What if this guy is the same way? What if they pick this dude, knowing that he's going to say some stuff, and just start dumping information on him? Just random people doing flybys. Hey, man, did you know? And he's like, what? And he's running with it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this kind of reminds me of Bob Lazar because I watched some clips, and we don't put clips and stuff like that on here because we get hit for copyright and everything else, but at least that's my fear. It hasn't happened yet. It's a fear. Right, because they might want money. Like, what? It's like, okay, well. So, I don't know. And I was like, that's pretty interesting. That was my first thought. And then you got Matt Gaetz, who's basically talking about the alien hybrid breeding program. You still not know who Matt Gaetz is? He's a former congressman.
I did not know. I did not realize that. I do realize that this article came out on a
April
suspicious
Fool's Day.
day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but disgraced former Congressman Matt Gaetz of Florida claimed that the U.S. government is forcibly mating captive humans with space aliens in order to breed beings capable of communicating with extraterrestrials. Gaetz, who is currently an OANN talk show host, made the claim Tuesday in an interview with conservative podcaster Benny Johnson.
Yeah.
Gates said that a senior Army enlisted man and whistleblower told him about the program while Gates was still in Congress. He said that the humans used for mating were captured from war zones or undocumented immigrants. Jesus. Gates alleged that the government has at least 6 breeding facilities. I had someone come and brief me who was in military uniform, worked for the United States Army, that was briefing me on the locations of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens were breeding with humans to create some hybrid race that could engage in intergalactic communication. An actual uniformed member of the United States Army briefed me on that. Gates said that he made no effort to verify the claim, which seems a bit odd if you believed the claims to be true and a serious national security issue. Okay. I don't know.
This is an X-Files episode. It's an ongoing thing with the X-Files.
Yeah.
Which X-Files was in the 90s. A lot of people today, I think the youngsters really need to just watch X-Files over again. Because this was a conspiracy back then. This is a conspiracy going back to allegedly Roswell. Now, I look at Roswell slightly differently. I don't necessarily like, but to me, what makes more sense is Nick Redfern's idea about what happened with Roswell, where they were going into the government was going into places and getting people, whether they're undesirable volunteers or whatever, right? And taking them up and exposing them to massive doses of radiation to figure out what would happen should they decide to blow up an atomic bomb. And what would be the fallout for, study, research, figure out what's going to happen, right? And they were going and getting people who were, like I said, were volunteers, or they were criminals, or they were military volunteers, or they were people at facilities
like infirmaries or hospice type locations.
So that means people with, disabilities, maybe, not being smart enough to make the decision, and then, turn around and the government's like, and we'll take care of your family kind of a thing. And they're sending them up and radiating them, whether they were small children or Japanese prisoners or people that were interned.
Gosh.
To figure out what would actually happen, which is more likely that or a UFO got zapped with some radar that we developed and lost control and crashed, and there were alien bodies out in the desert.
Yeah. That makes me sad.
I would like to think that, the UFO was just cruising along doing its job, and all of a sudden, blam, got blasted with some radar, and it took its flight controls out, and they crashed. Because to me, that's a way better story than let's go grab some people with developmental disabilities out of a home somewhere and just radiate them until they blow up like balloons and die.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty freaking horrible. Which is more likely? The government would do testing on its own people? Every country does it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like there's not a history of this world where, 4 million people got gassed.
Oh, God.
Which is more likely, right? Which would you rather believe in?
I would like to believe.
I'd like to believe that some aliens had a car crash.
Yeah.
And then, it became a thing. But what if it's all true? That's the thing. It could all be true. We just don't know. Because I wouldn't be surprised if the government was doing that anyway. They just needed a cover story. Or if something really did crash. And what if the whole flying saucer flap was basically started when they were flying acquired Nazi craft to further our...
They crashed a Nazi bell.
No, flying saucers, we call them UFOs and they're all circular and stuff, but, the flying saucers that were reported in, the 30s or whatever, they didn't look like that. They just looked like experimental planes to a certain degree.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, I thought it was kind of weird. You got Burchett, who's Congress or Senate or whatever he's in, right? High-ranking kind of guy, more high-ranking than the governor, saying this stuff. And you got Matt Gaetz saying some stuff. And then on top of that, let's add the vice president there. But the vice president's got a different view on things, and this sort of segues into the experience that you had today. Right?
Yes.
So J.D. Vance basically is telling a conservative podcast that he believes UFOs are demons.
Oh,
and you look at this and you go, that's crazy. It's not. A lot of people think this way.
Yeah, a lot of people think
that aliens aren't real. It's just demons trying to get you. And you can't disprove it.
Yeah. A lot of people find, or I've found, especially here in the American South, that a lot of people think celestial beings of any sort, whether it's UFOs or beings from a different dimension, stuff like that, when you approach these people and talk about these things, it all boils down to demons for them. No matter what, it's a demon. And that is due to certain Christian understandings.
Sure. But if you look at Christianity as a whole, and you look at humanity as a whole, and you go all the way back to it,
Yeah.
it is aliens.
It is aliens.
Right.
It is interdimensional beings.
Right.
Yes.
And if you look at like true pictures of what angels actually look like, they look like mechanical beings, wings and all that stuff. So it all can be related.
Yeah. Like
And if you go even further back and start looking at it, it's like, what is God? God can be spelled as guide.
yeah.
And you look at the aliens that allegedly came to Earth and
Like
brought
the
us intelligence.
biblically accurate aliens, they actually look more like one of those infinite energy devices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you add it all together, and aliens are good or bad, because you've got good aliens, bad aliens. You know, what do we call something bad? It's mystical and scary and evil.
A demon.
So, but if you just look at it as being like, you know, a Bible thumping guy saying that's the devil, you know, if you scratch a little deeper, it can be something. He's going to pull all
I know.
the podcasts and stuff off the table. And for a $30 dog to blast $1,200 worth of stuff on the ground, as oblong shaped as he is,
Would you stop?
like
Leave
he
my,
needs to go lay down.
leave my little hot dog alone.
He needs to settle down.
Anyways.
But yeah, so he had an interview, and he basically has also appeared on the Benny Johnson show. That's the second time Benny Johnson's had some weird alien type stuff. He said he was initially obsessed with UFO files and has a natural curiosity about the subject. But after the initial remark by saying they're demons, he provided further explanation when prompt, describing the desire to label otherworldly celestial beings as aliens, right?
Yeah.
And it says, I don't think they're aliens. Things are weird out there, and they are difficult to explain. And so the vice president tells me this is from Benny Johnson, tells me he's going to Area 51 with his top secret clearance to find out. His clearance means nothing. You have things that are classified above top secret.
Yeah.
That exists. People think that it doesn't. Your clearance is top secret, you get access to everything. Absolutely not, because you can have a clearance considered above top secret and not be allowed to see it because you don't have the need to know. You got to have those two things to be able to access stuff. You got to have the need to know, like you need to know this for whatever reason, especially if it relates to the job you're trying to do, whatever. And you got to have the clearance level. So top secret gets him in the door. But does he have the need to know? An elected official of everything when it comes to whatever's there. Maybe not so much, especially if they think that, anyway.
Whoever wrote this article, though, they did a little bit of a disservice. I'll say this about Vance. They actually cut his quote a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I have heard this statement from like Christian researchers and biblical experts. And he does say, when I hear about extra-natural phenomenon, that's where I go. The Christian understanding that there's a lot of good out there, but there's also a lot of evil out there. And here's where they mess him up. I think that one of the devil's great schemes or devil's great master plan is to convince people that he never existed. Now, to finalize that quote, when you listen to these Christian philosophers, it is, I think that one of the devil's greatest plans is to convince people that he either never existed or that he is of a different form and can be accepted easily into your heart, which then leads to corruption and all those other things.
Yes.
So it's interesting to hear that from Vance. I've actually heard it, like I said, I've heard it from Christian philosophers, and I've heard it from people who are truly deeply religious. It is an interesting concept. I don't necessarily believe in evils the same way some people do, But I can understand the position. A lot of times evil is something that we can't fully fathom or understand at this time.
It's all a problem with scale.
Yeah. Can we truly fathom extraterrestrials? Can I truly comprehend that something from galaxies away is also as intelligent or more intelligent than me and can exist? Though that is a very profound thing for an average human, whether it's an
I've
average
watched
human.
enough sci-fi, I believe it.
Yeah. Well, on the general scale of all humans, that is a very profound thing to realize and accept. And that may not be something that...
Well, I always look at it like this. The odds are against us that out of the infinite universe, whatever, that we are the only ones to make it.
And
I mean, they're very close, allegedly, to finding life on Mars, whether it's bacterial or microbial, whatever. Because if they find it, right, then it kind of opens up the door to the idea that Mars was thriving at one time, got wiped out for whatever reason, and a lot of the stuff made it our way and maybe seeded and populated the Earth.
Yeah.
And then if you can see that, then the idea that the moon didn't exist for eons and then all of a sudden showed up. And the moon has a lot of interesting characteristics, like it acts as a buffer for a lot of things. Like, how did that get here? That something brought it here, that the moon is actually a satellite.
And if you pay attention to any of like the 4 or 5 mainstream religions, whether it's Judeo-Christian belief, Muslim belief, Hindu beliefs, even some of the ancient Hindu beliefs, some of their avatars and gods were visited by beings of a different scale, of a different magnitude, and that's conveyed in their religious texts.
Yeah. Those are aliens.
Yeah, even like Muslim texts, there's a couple of instances where...
Great battles in the sky.
Yeah.
All of that.
And that is how, through religion, possibly, UFOs and extraterrestrials were explained.
Yep.
Through the veneer of a religious or spiritual belief. I mean, I
think you can follow that further back, and that's where the moon comes from. 2 brothers were fighting, and then that sort of happened.
Or the indigenous belief that the moon was actually running away from her sibling.
Yeah. Maybe.
So.
Well, anyway, you know who else believes that there's strong suspicion that aliens are real?
Who?
Steven Spielberg.
Okay.
I believe it. Like, why would you not believe that Steven Spielberg thinks that there may be aliens? I mean, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, E.T., you know what I mean? It would be more newsworthy to me if he said, no, aliens aren't real at all.
Gosh.
And he puts out 2 of the biggest blockbuster movies of all time about aliens. I mean, that would be like a smack in the face, right?
Yeah.
People be like, he's lying. He knows something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Steven Spielberg, and he's also releasing another movie coming out, a disclosure movie.
Oh, yeah.
So the idea that, Steven Spielberg confirmed that he believes in aliens in a recent interview. Okay, yeah.
Okay,
I totally believe it. I always thought he did.
I mean, I also...
Why is this a thing? He's a believer in the extraterrestrial, and Disclosure Day is the name of the movie that's coming out. So...
I mean, this is like...
He says, I don't know any more than any of you do, but I have a very strong suspicion that we are not alone here on the earth right now. And I made a movie about it.
I mean,
what does he really know? I mean, he knows something.
You could have titled this Steven Spielberg enjoys English muffins for breakfast, or Steven Spielberg
I wouldn't go so far as
because...
to say English muffins, because those are an acquired taste.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is about as surprising as...
Yeah.
Of course.
Now, we're going to wrap up the podcast with an uplifting story.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of. It's uplifting, I guess, for 2026, right? This comes from the mirror.co.uk, which is kind of like the National Enquirer, right? So here's what it says. I died for 4 days and was reunited with my dead dog. I come back for the message.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's awesome. You know what I mean?
That's kind of sad.
It's not that sad. Stop sniveling in a. Come on, buck up, tough guy. If you die, would you want to go see your dog? I mean, family. Yeah. All right. Well, there you go.
But
so she claimed that she died for 4 days. She was reunited with her dead dog in the afterlife, and where she learned the meaning of life. This is where it kind of goes, whatever, right? So, she was 22, preparing for her final archaeology exams that she was having, and so everything changed when working shifts at a local gourmet restaurant on a Friday. This is in 1990, right? Her name is Pamela. She grew up in North Carolina. She was working at a local restaurant. She experienced pain in her stomach where she developed an ulcer. She said at one point she heard a pop, which later she found out was a popped blood vessel.
Oh.
And began to bleed out. She didn't even know.
Oh.
So the following evening, so she's been bleeding out for a day now. She went out with her husband, and then she started throwing up blood like you'd see on the ER or something crazy, right? And she went to the hospital, right? Anyway. But after waking up, she felt extremely nauseous and thirsty. She went out into the landing, asked her husband to drink her fizzy drink, and then she wound up, anyway, so she winds up in the hospital, right? Mm-hmm. So thankfully, when she collapsed, her husband heard it, immediately contacted emergency services where he realized that she was unresponsive. So according to Nancy, hold on while I cough.
She was no longer in the physical world and was suddenly standing at the side of a snow-capped mountain range. There was a green valley in between two mountains, and speaking to NDE Journey, she said, and people talk about the colors on the other side as being indescribable, and this is absolutely true. What I experienced goes beyond human description. The colors were so vibrant, so beautiful, so encompassing, I felt as though I was a part of this environment, that I was really not a physical form any longer, that I was an energetic part of the whole scene. And then while she was taking all of this in, she said she then saw a gigantic tree which beckoned her forward, and it ended up speaking to her. She said she was then surrounded by animals before she encountered something she totally unexpected. Nancy said, I could feel the love coming from all these animals. It was the most beautiful feeling and belonging. I had no thoughts of my physical form or my physical life. I was there, and I knew that it was where I was supposed to be and belonged with these beautiful creatures that loved me. And as these feelings built within me, the animals parted, and out of the midst came my Rottweiler, Holly, who had passed away on that same day when I had the stomach pop and stomach pain. But the Holly I was seeing was under this majestic tree that appeared to be in her youth. Oh, but the Holly I had seen appeared to be the Holly I had known in her youth, maybe about 2 or 3 years old.
Yeah.
She looked like she did shortly after I first got her. She was shiny, she was vibrant, she was so happy to see me. Her little body was wiggling and her tail was wagging back and forth. And I just fell to my knees and I started crying and I embraced her because I never expected to see Holly again. I had just lost her and here she was, alive, and she was licking the tears from my face. It was absolutely beautiful and the love was truly indescribable. And as I end the scene, far, far in the distance, I could hear my name being called. I recognized it as my husband's voice and he kept calling my name over and over, and I sensed the fear in his voice. She said that she then felt herself being pulled back to the physical world. She recalled opening her eyes to her concerned husband, who asked her not to move, while assuring that paramedics were on their way.
Yeah, so she kept going in and out and having more NDE or near-death experiences.
Yeah.
Where she basically met like a Buddhist monk and some other things. So anyway, long story short, that's kind of cool, man.
Yeah.
So she says you can see her animals again. So I thought it was pretty nice.
Yeah.
And so speaking of animals, we're going to wrap up our podcast with this, where you can get some good dog food from.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So we've been giving Jack Barley's Bites.
Yes.
And now he expects
Barley's Bites.
the beef liver bites is like his favorite. He expects it.
Yes.
And we have to order some more, like And so he likes it.
Yeah.
And he's basically all about it.
He expects them as his good night treat.
Yeah.
He gets like 3 or 4, and he gets them, and he eats them, and then he curls up and goes to sleep.
Yeah.
It's kind of like getting like that little hotel mint before you go to sleep. And yeah, but now we're out, and he's been super grumpy.
So we got to order some. So Barley's Bites is dedicated to providing top quality homemade dog treats for every doggo to enjoy, as Jack's testament to that. And stuff's made from basically fresh, healthy ingredients without any harmful chemicals. And basically you get the best nutrition possible, which is kind of nice, right? And Jack definitely loves them. So we need to order some more. Then you can go to barleysbites.com and order some there. And if you use CreepGeeks, it's 20% off.
Oh, cool.
As a code. And normally we do that at the beginning of the podcast, but I kind of rolled right on through it. And I was sitting there thinking when I was seeing Jack over here rooting around, because he's gone to looking. It's like he's squashing, like squirreling them away like a squirrel.
Yeah.
Is there any of these? So we're going to order some when we get done.
He's built a pillow fort out of his chair over here.
Yeah.
And rooted around and has not found any that he's squirreled away.
And grumbled in the microphone.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should definitely check them out. It's good stuff. Jack likes it. We're going to reorder again, as we've been doing. And it's good stuff, man, because there's so much crap in dog food.
Yeah.
There's so much crap in our regular food. It's all crap, I mean. Just saying. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, anyway, we do appreciate you taking time to listen to the podcast. This was Season 10, Episode 358 of CreepGeeks Podcast. And everything we talk about is available in our show notes. You go to creepgeeks.com. You can interact with us on all the social medias. We're on all of them. Sometimes we check them. But the best way is if we check our phone number. We have a toll-free phone number that you can call. What? Usually you spit out the phone number.
575-208-4025.
Yes, it's toll-free. Mm-hmm. Yeah, check out Barley's Bites, man. It's good stuff. So we're going to order some as soon as we get off here. I meant to do that the other day, and I forgot. So it's probably the way he hates me. Jack hates me right now. It'll be all right, though. So anyway, there you go. So see you later. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let us know. Take it easy. Bye, Sickle.
Bye.